All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Larry James. My company is Speak with Larry, no spaces. Today is Tuesday, July the 21st, and I had an interview set up. I normally do interviews on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. And sometimes, certain clients can't make it, or people who have agreed to do an interview, they are not able to log in, or they're not able to meet. Maybe the traffic, maybe, whatever the situation is. I like to call it life. But when that happens, I still like to go live and do a little, kind of what I call ad-libbing. A lot of you guys already know who I am. A lot of you guys don't. But for those of you who don't, again, I have a company called Speak with Larry. And what its objective is that I teach people how to set up the foundation of their online business while helping them become more comfortable speaking about it. Because speaking is also a revenue source in the online business world. So once you actually decide on the type of business you want to start, or the type of information you want to share with an audience that you will be building, then you'll want to position yourself to be able to talk about it, right? Because people will from time to time come to you and say, listen, we heard your speech at X place, right? We really liked it. We'd like for you to come and talk to our group or our organization about what you do and whether or not what you do can help, our people. And that's how this game is kind of played when you're talking about the speaking part. When you're speaking, a lot of people have a fear of speaking. Don't worry about that. I too had a fear of speaking, but through trial and error and over time, you get better. The butterflies are still there, depending on the crowd, how large the crowd is. But everybody are not gonna speak. Some people are not gonna volunteer for that. They're not going up. They're not raising their hand. They're not gonna say, okay, I'm gonna use speaking as a resource. No, they're not gonna do that right off because they're too afraid. And I understand, and that's not a bad thing. Actually, I think statistically, it's like 45% of people would rather be in the casket than give the eulogy at a funeral because they're that afraid, right? And so it's kind of a natural thing. And I didn't realize that I had a fear of speaking until a friend of mine asked me one day, Larry, can you do that? We were in a meeting, a seminar, and she said, can you get up and speak like that? And my mind said, sure, because I believe I can do anything, right? If I set my mind to it. But the first time I did it, I felt a certain kind of way. And there wasn't a way that I was familiar with, right? I was like, wow, why am I, sweating? Why am I, losing my train of thought? Why is that going on, right? What's happening is called stage fright, right? You didn't realize that you had that until you got on the stage. And once you get on the stage, boom, there it is. So you have to overcome that because even if you don't choose to speak to groups and organizations about it right off, you will do that sooner or later because you'll get more comfortable with what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're sharing, right? Your information, you'll know that so well that, and you know that it will help people if they have the opportunity to hear it, right? So you want to get that out because see, people they come to see you. They come to get that word from you, and not me. They want to pay you to share with them what you know. They don't want to pay me, although they pay me too. But they don't come to see Larry James when they come to see you. When they come to see Larry James, they come to see me. That's how that works. And you have to be okay with that. And another thing you have to do is you have to tell your story. Like me, one of the things that you may or may not know about me is that I'm a veteran, right? I was in the Marine Corps for 3 years, right out of high school. I graduated high school in May. I think it was May the 30th. In June the 30th, I was in boot camp. 30-day window, I was in another world, another state, never been to California. I was in California. Went to boot camp. Boot camp was really kind of different. But, you know, it was Marine Corps boot camp, if you know anything about Marine Corps boot camp. And, you know, made it through, graduated, went to the school that I was going to be learning my skill in. And my skill at that point was what you call a 0311. And for my fellow Marines, you know exactly what that is. That's a ground pounder. That's infantry. I didn't know. I didn't know. I should have taken something else. Actually, had I known about the military, because I had never been associated with anybody in the military, had I known, I would have went to the Air Force, because I believe I'm smart enough to take advantage of the opportunities that they had available, right? Long story short, it didn't matter, because I went to get the college benefits. I didn't go to retire from there. I went to get 3 years college, 3 years military, get out and go to college, which is exactly what I did. So that was how part of my journey when I decided at 18, yeah, I was 18, what I was going to do with my life. Actually, at 17, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a psychiatrist, because I love dealing with the mind. I love learning about the mind, and I love sharing that information with other people, especially if I can help them. And today, in the 21st century, you know, mental illness is a real thing now, right? And a psychotherapist or a psychiatrist, they're busy, right? And they don't charge $10 an hour. No, sir. But I didn't go all the way. I got sidetracked by this thing called life. And I'll go more into detail on other videos. But that's how you would tell your story once you're sharing information about your product or service that you create. Now, at first, you won't have a product or service. you, unless you're kind of familiar with this process. But that's okay. You really don't need that, because you're going to be growing, right? People don't know you yet. They don't have a way of contacting you yet. And you want to be able to position those ways to be contacted in a lot of places, right? So, and every time you share information, you want to guide people back to a place, whether it's a website, a blog, a video, or a landing page, or whatever it is that you want people to access, so that they can sign up for your email list, because you want to put people on an email list as quickly as possible, and as many as possible, because your email list is going to be a very important function in the success of your business. Very important, with a capital V. Very important. So always remember that your email system is that's your bank. That's yours. If you have content on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter, and they change their terms of contract or terms of service, and it affects your videos or affects your content, that doesn't affect your email. That email is yours. That's your baby. That's how you grow money. One of the ways, you know, there's a lot of ways that you grow money online, a lot of ways. Like one of the things I do is I create what you call online courses, right? And when you create an online course, it's like you're actually a teacher, right? Because you're all going to be a teacher to a certain degree, but a lot of times the thought of that kind of turns people off, and that's okay. But if it doesn't turn you off, that's money. Please know that, because you create that once, and you can market it several different places. And you know, hey, you don't know what people are like it, but you want to market it to people that are interested in what you're sharing, what you do, right? Like, I'm a consultant for small businesses, so my system is actually a 90-day process. If you're gonna hire me to be a consultant for you, it's gonna cost you a flat fee or a monthly rate for 3 months, right? Because after that 3 months, I will have had you set up that foundation I was talking about, right? Now that foundation is going to give you systems. Businesses are nothing more than systems. Please know that. So as you create these systems, you'll be familiar with them because you're creating them, right? And as you're creating these systems, you can, when you get ready to create, let's say a video, you'll go back to the same place that you create your videos and create the video, right? Unless you move around like different locations, and that's another mindset, but it's pretty much the same thing. Once you, like when I create these Zoom interviews, I come to this set. I created this set. Now, this was going to be interview number 25 for me. My objective is to do 50 this year, and I've never done Zoom interviews, so I'm already at 24, getting ready to be 25. So would you think that I'm more familiar with video, the Zoom process, than I was on interview number 1? Yes, shake your head with me. Absolutely, that's how it works. I'm also pretty good at it, right? Because as you do things continually, you get better. That's how it works. That is the key. There's no magic potion or no secret someone's got hidden. It's putting in the work. You have to put in the work. And if you put in the work, you'll get the results. And by you getting the results, then that's indisputable, right? Whether or not you know what you're doing. It's indisputable. You know what you're doing. That means you can be considered an expert on so many different levels, right? And you see people doing Zoom interviews online that have like maybe 800,000 views, or those type of numbers. That's great, and that's something that you can aspire to do. But you can get wealthy with 2,000 people. Period. You don't need all that. Good to have it, but when you have that, it takes you to another structure, another system, because you can bypass a lot of the others, right? Like, it's like going viral. When you go viral, you bypass all the learning process. You outsource that. You hire that skill, right? When you hire that skill, then, the money will show up because you got all those views, you got all those eyeballs on your content, and that's what you want. But you want to do it at your pace, and you want to do it in a way that, you can maintain your way of life without, going into struggle mode. Because I'm the type of person, I don't like to struggle, whether it be financially, whether it be my time, whether it be, my relationships. I don't like to be in places where people simply tolerate me, right? I don't like that. I don't do that much either. Sometimes you have to do that, but I like to go where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated, right? That's where I like to spend time with people that, I consider, people that know me. And I don't have a big circle of people, right? So I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I'm saying you should watch your circle. The bigger your circle, the more people that have the option or the opportunity to become envious of you, because you're going to be growing. You're going to be getting popular, because this is a business, and you have access to things that you didn't have 25, 30 years ago. Like the videos that I'm creating here can reach all over the world. I do this. This is from my office or from my set. I don't have to go anyplace, and I can get the same results that companies used to pay $20,000 for to do a 30 or 45-minute shoot, right? Maybe more than that. Just depends on how many people are having to get paid, right? The lighting people, you got the actual videographer, you got the actual show that you on. All that has to be expensed, and you don't have to do that anymore. You can just go at your own pace, which is what I recommend. I like for people to kind of bootstrap their kind of business from the start, because first of all, you don't know enough to spend a lot of money, in my opinion. I don't want you to waste your money. I want you to get your money's worth, so to speak, right? So think about where you are right now and what's going on in your world. If you have free time, or if you have like something you want to do, I know a lot of people, there's billions of people in this world, and a lot of people are really, really sharp, right? They're really sharp. A lot of them are young, a lot of them are older. It doesn't really matter. It's like if you decide to take on a sport, let's say you decided to pick up the game of basketball and you never played basketball. In order to get better at basketball, you'd have to do what? Right, practice. You'd have to practice. And as you begin the practicing process, you'd have to be around people who also play basketball, right? So you can watch their moves, their mannerisms, and how they do things. Learn the language, so to speak, right? Because there's a language in whatever you do. If you go to a basketball court and you have a microphone and you're listening, or you know have a microphone that can allow you to hear things, you're gonna hear a language. There's a language involved, and as it should be, just with anything else. And you have to kind of like, let me give you another example. Let's say you want to be a rapper. If you want to be a rapper, you can start rapping, but you have to get around other rappers so you can pick up that world, that language that's being spoken. That's how you can become an expert at what's going on. And you can do that with your business, with your 21st century business. And it's not going to cost you like thousands of dollars to begin. It's going to cost you less than 100, much less than 100, you know, to get your system set up. But, you know, you'll continue, you got to keep putting money back into your business, but it's not a lot. It's not a lot. And you get better at the process, and then you'll start to generate a little money. Yeah, make a little money. Let's say you start off not making any money. Let's say the first 90 days you don't make a dime, which is not uncommon. But let's say 4 months in, now you understand the situation a little better. You understand the process a little bit better. Because what I would introduce you to is a system called affiliate marketing, which allows you to generate an income without creating your own product or having your own service that you offer. You're making a commission from other people's products, right? Like, I'm a published author of several books. If one of my books sells for, like, I have a 90-day workbook and it sells on Amazon for $30. Let's say I gave you a $15 commission for selling each of those books. All you have to do is market it. Just put it on your Facebook page, put it on your Twitter page, on your LinkedIn page, put it wherever you post. And when people buy it, that commission will automatically go to you. That's how that would work. So why would I do that? And I'm the author, and I actually get 100% of that money. Well, because it's easy for me to get 15% of 30 with no effort when I can get that 15% with no effort, simply by offering you an opportunity to market the products that I created. Right? I'm still getting my 100% from other sources, but from your source, rather than me get the full 30, you get 15 of it. How cool is that, right? And how motivated is it for you to do that? You should be like, oh, hey, what else can I do? And you can do. There's other products you can sell all day long. You can actually make that your business. But you got to kind of get in this game so you can understand some of the nuances involved, because technology is always changing, right? And if you're not really technically savvy, it's going to be difficult for you. It's going to be difficult, if not impossible, because you're not going to have the interest. You know, you're not going to have the is it determination I'm looking for? No, it's not determination. You're not going to have the stick-to-itiveness to do it, because you're going to like post like 3 times a week, which is not a lot at all. That's nothing. But let's say you're creating a 2-minute video. Like this video I'm creating is probably going to be about 30 minutes long. I can go for some hours, right, if I wanted to, because I know what I'm talking about and I can share content based on what I do. And I know how to weave different stories in with it, right? Like I was telling you about me going to the military, and once I got out of the military, I'm originally from Oklahoma, right? Oklahoma City. So once I got out of the military, I went back to Oklahoma City and enrolled in college. And I started going to college. I went to started at a junior college called, at the time it was called Oscar Rose Junior College. Oscar Rose Junior College in Midwest City or Dale City, one of those cities. And it was Midwest City. And I went there for 2 years, graduated, transferred to a university. I got a degree in science because you got to have a science background and to be a psychiatrist. So I was on my way, right? Then I got to a university, started taking courses. I was working full time and going to college full time. So I had an 8-hour job and taking a 12-hour load. A 12-hour load for going to college was paying me like $400 a month back in the 80s. And I was working for an Air Force base called Tinker Air Force Base. That was paying me like $40,000 back in the 80s. So I was doing some money things. I was having some money available. Well, I got caught up in the fast life. You know, I was traveling, doing things, you know, driving nice cars, living in nice places, you know, dating pretty women and stuff like that. And then I got married. And that changed everything, right? But that's another story, and I'll tell you about that later. But see, these are things that you'll do as you're sharing your content. You'll bring in some what you call teasers, and you know, you would think, well, these people would be interested in my life like that. Oh, but they would be. They are, because if they're interested in listening to your content, they don't want to just boring, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G like that. You want to introduce who you are to them so they'll know you. So if for one day you're walking down the street and they pass you and they can say, hey, you're Larry James. And I'll say, is it because I have my name on my shirt? No. But you know, it's fun like that because you don't have to take yourself too seriously, because that's one of the things I share with my clients as well. Don't be too serious about, you know, like when you make videos, don't worry about little mistakes. Don't worry about that. They'll adjust, you know. And when you really need to get some footage, you can hire somebody to do the shooting. You just do what you do, right? If that's what that calls for, which it doesn't call for that too much, because you know well enough how to do things to make it work for you, right? Just like this. This doesn't look too shabby as far as an introductory, right? If you're watching this video for the first time, the content is pretty good, I believe. You know, the visuals are not, you know, overwhelming, I don't believe. Just books and CDs and stuff like that, right? If that's overwhelming, then oh well, that's what it's going to be. Because see, I get to write the story. Hey, not you. I get to write this story. And I love that about it, because it's what I want. Like one of my objectives is to leave a legacy for my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids, on and on and on, right? And I'll do that, because if you go to Speak with Larry on YouTube right now, today, July the 21st, 2020, I've got over 950 videos on YouTube, all monetized. Yeah, that's right. That too is a revenue source. And I just keep making videos, just keep creating content, right? Keep, you know, doing what I do. And if the Lord blesses me to continue living, I may have thousands with an S before it's over with, right? And the great grandkids I was telling you about, I'll probably never get to see them, but they can access this information. And they say, hey, that was my great grandfather right there. I wonder if I can do that. Well, I bet you I could do the same thing. But, you know, technology will be way more advanced by then. But, you know, it's just having a plan and making that plan work for you. That's all I'm trying to say. You can do what you want to do in this world online, but you got to create a plan, and you got to begin that plan. And if you don't, you'll just talk about it. And other people will just listen to you talk about it. That's not how a game is played. It's not how the game is played. And you do want to play the game, don't you? You want to be part of this world. You want to be part of the internet entrepreneurial endeavor in your lifetime. You got a chance to experience it if you're alive today. And this is a great time, but it's chaotic because things are changing so rapidly. And you know why things are changing so rapidly, right? People that look like me are being able to make a difference in this world. That's right. And it's not what the people that don't look like me want. It's not what they want. But it's nothing they can do about it. The time has come. All right? It is what it is. All right, listen, I really appreciate you spending this little time with me today. I was, like I say, had an interview to do, but the person that I was supposed to interview wasn't able to show up. So that happens. And I don't have problems with that. Like I say, I like to keep things, on an even keel. That's why I don't charge for these Zoom interviews. But once I create my video podcast, that's a different story. I'll have sponsors and everything. That's why I'm really getting this practice in this year with the video, with the Zoom videos, because with a video podcast, you have to have other people, doing certain things, right? And that's the road I want to take. Now, I may be creating those episodes by myself or with another person, but chances are very good that by creating all these Zoom interviews, someone out there in the internet world will see what I've done or what I'm doing and say, hey, I want you to come and share the stage with me, right? We just have a virtual, podcast, and that may be right up my alley, right? See, options are what you want in this life. It's like money. Money gives you options. Money doesn't do anything else. It gives you options. That's it. If you have let's say you have $100,000 in the bank, right? It's not like $1 million, but $100,000 will give you options, right? But let's say you had zero money in the bank and you didn't require it. It didn't take any money. Let's say you just say, I want to go shopping and buy a new suit, and you just went to the store and said, I want that suit, and they gave it to you. And then you left the store and you went to, let's say, an auto dealership, and you say, I want that car, and they gave it to you. You wouldn't need money, but that's not how it works. How it works at all. So you need money. It gives you options, right? And that's a good thing. But you don't want to revolve around that money. You want your life to revolve around what you want to do with your short life, because life is short. And if you wait until you're like 50, 45 to get serious about your life, it's going to be difficult to, be in control of that, because our bodies kind of get lazy over time, just depending on what you're doing. And even though your mind may be wanting to do certain things, your body might say, I don't want to do all that. Well, I got enough money. I don't need to do all that, right? And then, like I say, everything is not for everybody. But if you're able to position yourself to take advantage of some of the opportunities that life presents to you, you will not regret it, because life can be great. It can really be a lot of fun. You can help a lot of people, and you can, vicariously through helping other people, help yourself, because that's how it works. That's how the universe was designed, was to give back to those who give. Not so much those who take, but to those who give. That's why you are probably one of those people that say, I don't know what I want to do, but I know I want to help somebody. Or I just like help. I like giving. I like helping people out. A lot of people say that to me. And they don't really know what that means to them, right? Like, when they say that, I say, what do you mean help them? Like help them across the street, or, washing them up. What is it you want to, how you want to help? Right? Because there are a lot of ways you can help people. A lot of people need help, right? Want to pay their mortgage? Nope. But the point I'm trying to make is figure out what works for you and start it. And then I can help you take it to the next level, or I can help you start it. I really like to help you start it because that's where, you know, I get to really kind of know who you are and you can know who I am. And if you're interested in a Zoom interview, reach out to me at speakwithlarryj@gmail.com. And in the subject box, type in interview. And you and I can get together and we can get on this Zoom interview and we can have a little conversation about what you do, who you are, in order to brand yourself and, you know, increase your viewership. It's a lot of fun, especially if you're in the game. If you're in the game, you need to get on these Zooms or YouTube Live or Facebook Live or something so people can identify who you are, know who you are. So I'm not going to take much more of your time. I like to put, like I said, about 30 minutes in these episodes, and looks like I'm coming up on that 30 minutes if I'm not there. So again, my name is Larry James. My company, Speak with Larry, no spaces. And as always, share with someone else what I've shared with you.